Right now, as you are watching this, a massive winter storm is building over the Pacific, and within the next 72 hours, it is going to slam into the United States with enough force to shut down highways, knock out power, and dump dangerous amounts of snow and ice across more than 24 states. We are talking about a storm that stretches from the plains of Kansas all the way to the coastline of Maine. Over 150 million Americans are potentially in the path of this thing. 150 million. Let that sink in. And here is what makes this one different from what we have seen so far this winter. This storm has two faces. On one side, heavy snow. We are talking 6, 8, possibly 12 inches or more in the heaviest bands. On the other side, a brutal ice storm, freezing rain, sleet, the kind of ice that snaps power lines like toothpicks and turns every road into a skating rink. And the worst part? We do not know yet exactly where that line between snow and ice is going to set up. That line could shift 100 miles north or south, and it changes everything for millions of people. Now stay with me here, because in the next few minutes I am going to break down exactly when this storm hits your city, how much snow or ice you could see, and what you need to do right now to get ready. And if you stick around until about the 5-minute mark, I have got something that is going to surprise a lot of people. There is a massive pattern flip coming in March that could reshape the entire weather picture for the rest of the season. Nobody is really talking about this yet, but I am going to show you exactly what the data is telling us. Do not skip ahead. You need the full picture first. But before any of that, drop a comment right now. Tell me where you are watching from, your city, your state. I read every single comment, and I will do my best to give you a specific forecast for your area. Seriously, drop it right now while you are thinking about it. I will find you in the comments. So let us get into it. Here is the thing. This storm does not just appear out of nowhere. It has ingredients. And right now, every single ingredient is lining up in a way that has me paying very close attention. Ingredient number 1, Arctic air. A powerful high-pressure system is sliding down from Canada this weekend. And when I say powerful, I mean we are talking about temperatures crashing to 30 degrees below zero in parts of the northern plains. 30 below. That is the kind of cold where exposed skin gets frostbitten in under 10 minutes. That cold air is going to lock in like a brick wall across the eastern half of the country. Dense, heavy, sitting right on the surface. And that is the foundation for everything that comes next. Ingredient number 2, Pacific moisture. At the same time that Arctic air is settling in, a massive plume of moisture-rich energy from the Pacific Ocean is going to come barreling across the western United States. It is going to ride up and over that cold dome of Arctic air like a wave crashing over a seawall. And when warm, moist air rides over cold, dense air like that, you get what meteorologists call an overrunning event. That is fancy talk for snow and ice falling from the sky for a long time. Ingredient number 3, Gulf moisture. As if the Pacific moisture was not enough, we are also going to tap into warm, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico. That Gulf moisture is going to surge northward and feed directly into this storm system. And when you combine Pacific energy, Gulf moisture, and an Arctic air mass, you get a recipe for a monster winter storm. Now here is what nobody is telling you about this setup. This is almost the exact same pattern that produced the major ice storm back in January. Remember that one? Power outages across multiple states, roads impassable for days, thousands of people stranded. This storm does not look quite as intense as that one, but it has the same DNA, the same fingerprint. And that should get your attention. So let us talk timing, because timing is everything with a storm like this. You need to know exactly when to expect it in your area so you can prepare. I am going to walk through this region by region, city by city. Let us start in the Central Plains and the Midwest, because that is where this storm makes its first big impact. Kansas City. Snow and a wintry mix begin developing Sunday afternoon, somewhere around 2 or 3 in the afternoon local time. The heaviest precipitation hits Sunday night into early Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, the worst of it is pulling away to the east. Your window of impact is roughly 18 to 24 hours. Des Moines. This is right in the crosshairs. Snow starts Sunday evening, probably around 6 or 7 at night. It ramps up overnight Sunday into Monday. The heaviest snow falls between midnight Sunday and noon Monday. We are looking at a potential 4 to 6 inches here, possibly more if the heaviest band sets up right over the city. Things start winding down Monday afternoon, but roads could stay dangerous into Monday night. Omaha. You are on the western edge of this system. Light snow begins Sunday afternoon. It picks up Sunday night. Most of the accumulation happens overnight Sunday into Monday morning. You are probably looking at 2 to 4 inches, but there is a chance you get clipped by a heavier band. The storm moves out by Monday midday. St. Louis. Now here is where it gets tricky. St. Louis is right on that dividing line between snow to the north and a wintry mix to the south. Snow starts Sunday afternoon, but as warmer air tries to push in from the south, you could see a transition to sleet and freezing rain Sunday night. That icy mix could last into Monday morning before transitioning back to snow as colder air wraps around the backside of the storm. Total snow accumulation 3 to 5 inches, but you could also see a 1/4 inch of ice on top of that. That ice is what knocks out power. And here is what I need you to understand about ice. 1/4 inch of ice does not sound like much, but 1/4 inch of ice on a power line adds roughly 500 pounds of weight per span. 500 pounds. That is why power lines snap. That is why trees come down. That is why people lose electricity for days. So if you are in that ice zone, please take this seriously. Indianapolis. Snow begins late Sunday night around 10 or 11 at night. The heaviest snow falls Monday morning through Monday afternoon. The GFS model, which has been the most aggressive with this storm, is showing 5 to 7 inches for Indianapolis. The national blend of models, which is more conservative, shows about 3 inches. I think the truth is somewhere in between. Call it 4 to 6 inches. The storm tapers off Monday evening, but lingering snow showers could continue into Tuesday morning. Chicago, you are in the game. Snow starts Sunday evening, probably around 5 or 6 in the afternoon. It gets heavier overnight Sunday into Monday. The heaviest accumulation happens between midnight and about 8 in the morning Monday. The national blend of models shows about 4 to 6 inches for Chicago. But here's the thing. If the heaviest band of snow sets up just a little farther north than currently expected, Chicago could see 8+ inches. If it sets up farther south, you might only get 2 or 3. That is the uncertainty we are dealing with right now. Either way, Monday morning commute in Chicago is going to be a mess. Plan accordingly. The storm exits by Monday afternoon, Milwaukee, very similar to Chicago. Snow begins Sunday evening, heaviest snow overnight Sunday into Monday morning, 3 to 5 inches is a good bet right now. Storm wraps up by Monday midday, Green Bay. You are on the northern edge of the heavier snow. Snow starts Sunday night. 2 to 4 inches possible. Most of it falls overnight into Monday morning. This one should be manageable for you. You know how to handle snow. Lacrosse, same story. Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 5 inches. You are in the corridor, Minneapolis and St. Paul. Here is a twist for you. You are actually going to deal with 2 rounds of winter weather. The first is a clipper system that moves through Saturday. That could drop an inch or 2 of snow. Nothing major, but then the main event arrives Sunday night into Monday. Another 2 to 4 inches on top of that. So by the time Monday is done, you could be looking at a combined 4 to 6 inches of fresh snow on the ground. And the temperatures. After that cold front blows through, Monday night into Tuesday morning, Minneapolis could see lows dropping to 15 to 20 below zero. Bundle up, Sioux Falls. That clipper system hits you Saturday, 1 to 3 inches of snow. Then the main storm clips your eastern side Sunday night, another inch or 2. Not the biggest totals, but combine that with wind chills dropping to 25 below zero, and it is no joke. Bismarck and Fargo. The clipper is your main event. Saturday into Saturday night, 2 to 4 inches of snow. Temperatures plummet behind it. By Sunday morning, you are looking at highs in the single digits and lows well below zero. The main storm tracks too far south to give you heavy snow, but the cold is the real story for you. Now let us move east. And this is where things get really interesting, because when this storm crosses the Ohio Valley and heads toward the northeast, it could intensify, and the battle between snow and ice becomes critical. Columbus, Ohio. Snow starts Monday morning, probably around 6 or 7 in the morning. It builds through the day. The heaviest snow falls Monday afternoon into Monday evening. The national blend shows about 4 inches for Columbus, but the GFS wants to give you 6 or 7. I think 4 to 6 is a solid range. The storm exits Tuesday morning, Cleveland. Snow arrives Monday, a little later than Columbus, probably mid-morning around 9 or 10. It picks up Monday afternoon and evening. 3 to 5 inches is the current forecast. But you also have lake effect snow potential on the backside of this storm. So once the main system pulls away Tuesday, the cold air flowing over Lake Erie could add another inch or two in the classic snowbelt areas east of the city. Total accumulation by the time everything is done could be 5 to 7 inches in the snowbelt. Cincinnati. Remember what I said about St. Louis being on that line? Cincinnati has the same problem. Snow starts Monday morning, but the warmer air is closer here. You could see a transition to sleet and freezing rain Monday afternoon before it switches back to snow Monday night. 2 to 4 inches of snow plus a glaze of ice is possible. That is enough to make roads treacherous. The storm clears out Tuesday morning. Pittsburgh. Snow starts Monday afternoon. It builds Monday night. The heaviest snow falls overnight Monday into Tuesday morning. The national blend shows about 4 inches. But Pittsburgh sits right in the zone where the storm could really crank up if it takes a slightly more northern track. In that scenario, you could see 6 to 8 inches. Storm winds down by Tuesday afternoon, now the mid-Atlantic. This is where the storm gets a second wind as it approaches the coast. Washington, D.C. And here is a twist I need to tell you about. Before the main storm even arrives, there is a sneaky little system moving through on Thursday. Tomorrow, multiple models are showing a stripe of snow from Bloomington, Illinois through Indianapolis and down into Cincinnati and then up into Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. Now, it is not going to be a big snow. We are talking about a dusting to maybe an inch. But it could make Thursday afternoon and evening commutes slippery in the D.C. metro area. So heads up for that. Then the main event, snow and a wintry mix arrive in D.C. late Monday night into Tuesday morning. The heaviest precipitation falls Tuesday morning through Tuesday afternoon. Here is the issue with D.C. You are right on the rain-snow line. If the storm tracks a little farther north, D.C. gets mostly rain with maybe some snow on the front end. If it tracks farther south, D.C. could see 3 to 5 inches of snow. The GFS model actually pushes snow as far south as central Virginia, which would be significant. Right now, I would say 2 to 4 inches for D.C. proper, but there is a wide range of outcomes here. The storm pulls away by Tuesday evening, Baltimore. Very similar to D.C., but you are slightly farther north, which tips the odds a little more towards snow. 2 to 5 inches. Timing is the same. Tuesday is your day. Philadelphia. Snow arrives Monday night. It picks up Tuesday morning. The national blend of models shows about 5 inches for Philadelphia. Some runs of the GFS show even more. The heaviest snow falls Tuesday morning through early Tuesday afternoon. The storm exits by Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. This could be a plowable snow for the city, now the Northeast. And if you live in southern New England, I need you to pay extra attention because you just went through a historic blizzard. I know you are tired of snow, I get it, but this storm has the potential to add more. New York City. Snow starts late Monday night. It builds Tuesday morning. The national blend shows about 5 inches for New York City. But just like Philly, if the storm comes in a little stronger or a little farther north, totals could be higher. 6 to 8 inches is not out of the question. The heaviest snow falls Tuesday morning through Tuesday afternoon. Things taper off Tuesday evening. Wednesday morning, you are shoveling out Newark and northern New Jersey. Same timing as New York, 5 to 7 inches possible. Tuesday is the day. Hartford, Connecticut. Snow starts Tuesday morning. It builds through the afternoon. 4 to 6 inches. The storm transitions to lighter snow Tuesday night and wraps up by Wednesday morning, Providence, Rhode Island. Very similar to Hartford. Snow Tuesday morning through Tuesday evening, 4 to 6 inches. Boston. Here we go. Boston just got hammered by that nor'easter, and now this. Snow starts Tuesday, probably mid-morning. It builds through the afternoon and evening. The national blend shows about 4.5 inches, but some model runs show significantly more, especially if the storm undergoes rapid intensification as it moves up the coast. I would say 3 to 6 inches is the range for Boston right now. By Wednesday morning, the storm is out over the open Atlantic, Portland, Maine. Snow arrives Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening, 3 to 5 inches. Heavier amounts are possible in the mountains. The storm exits by Wednesday, Burlington, Vermont. Snow Tuesday into Wednesday, 3 to 5 inches. With the cold air in place, this is going to be light, fluffy powder, Concord, New Hampshire. Similar setup. Snow Tuesday into Wednesday, 3 to 5 inches. Albany, New York, snow Monday night into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. You are in the sweet spot where the heavier snow bands could set up. Syracuse, New York. Here is an interesting one. Syracuse gets the main storm snow Monday night into Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. But then lake effect snow off Lake Ontario could fire up Tuesday night into Wednesday as the cold air wraps around. The Tug Hill Plateau east of Lake Ontario could see an additional 6 to 12 inches of lake effect on top of the storm snow. That is a separate event, but it piggybacks right on the back of this storm, Buffalo, New York. 2 to 4 inches from the main storm Monday night into Tuesday. But then lake effect off Lake Erie kicks in. The south towns of Buffalo and the ski country south of the city could pick up an additional 4 to 8 inches of lake effect snow Tuesday night into Wednesday. Now, let us not forget about the southern edge of this storm because there is a whole different set of problems down there, in Nashville, Tennessee. You are mainly looking at rain, heavy rain at that. Thursday into Friday, you could see 1 to 2 inches of rain from that first system moving through. Then early next week, as the main storm approaches, another round of heavy rain is possible. Some thunder too. If you are south of the snowline, flooding becomes the concern. Knoxville, Tennessee. Rain, possibly heavy at times, Thursday through Friday. Maybe some thunder, and then more rain early next week. Not a snow event for you, but keep an eye on creeks and low-lying areas. Charlotte, North Carolina. Rain Thursday, possibly heavy, 1 to 2 inches. Then early next week, there is an outside chance of a wintry mix on the northern side of the storm. The GFS model actually tries to push some winter weather as far south as North Carolina by Monday. Low probability, but not zero. Mainly rain, though. Raleigh, North Carolina. Same story as Charlotte. Heavy rain Thursday into Friday. Then watch early next week. There is a small but real chance of some freezing rain or sleet if cold air holds on. Atlanta. Rain. Thunderstorms possible. Thursday into Friday is your active window. 1 to 2 inches of rain. Could see some strong storms too, especially Thursday afternoon and evening. Early next week, you dry out and actually warm up. Atlanta is not in the winter weather zone for the main storm. Birmingham, Alabama. Thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday. Some of these could be strong. Heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches possible. After that, a quiet pattern for you heading into early next week. Montgomery, Alabama, same setup as Birmingham. Rain and storms Thursday night into Friday. Then drying out. Jackson, Mississippi. Heavy rain Thursday into Friday. 1 to 2 inches. Thunder likely. Dry weekend. Columbia, South Carolina. Rain develops Thursday evening. Continues into Friday. Could be heavy at times, 1 to 2 inches. Richmond, Virginia. Rain Thursday. Then the big question is early next week. Richmond is right on the edge. You could see rain, you could see snow, you could see a mix. The track of the main storm will determine everything. Right now, I would lean toward a rain to snow transition late Monday into Tuesday. 1 to 3 inches of snow possible if the cold air wins out. Charleston, West Virginia. Snow. This is one of the cities I think could do well with this storm. Snow starts Monday. It builds Monday night. 4 to 6 inches possible, maybe more in the higher elevations. The cold air gets trapped in the valleys and the mountains squeeze out extra moisture. Storm clears by Tuesday afternoon, Lexington, Kentucky. Right on the line again, snow starts Monday. Could transition to a mix. 2 to 4 inches of snow plus some ice. Dangerous driving conditions Monday into Tuesday, Louisville, Kentucky. Very similar to Lexington. Wintry mix. Snow, sleet, possibly some freezing rain. Monday into Tuesday. 3 to 5 inches of snow equivalent, but some of that could fall as ice. Now, let me talk about a few more cities in the Midwest before we move on, because there are a lot of you watching from smaller cities that never get mentioned in these forecasts, and I do not want you to feel left out. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 4 to 6 inches. You are in the primary snow band on almost every model run. Monday morning commute is going to be rough. Waterloo, Iowa. Same story as Cedar Rapids. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 4 to 6 inches. Possibly a touch more if the heaviest band parks over you. Dubuque, Iowa. Snow Sunday night, 3 to 5 inches. You are on the northern edge of the heavier snow. Davenport, Iowa, and the Quad Cities. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Roads will be a mess Monday morning along Interstate 80, Iowa City. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 4 to 5 inches. The university is going to have an interesting Monday. Mason City, Iowa. Snow Sunday into Monday, 3 to 5 inches, and it gets bitterly cold after. Monday night lows could drop below zero, Mankato, Minnesota. The Clipper Saturday drops an inch or two. The main storm adds another 2 to 3 inches Sunday night into Monday. Combined total 3 to 5 inches. Then the real pain begins. Temperatures Tuesday morning bottom out near 20 below zero. Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Snow Sunday night, 2 to 4 inches. Nothing you cannot handle, but the cold behind the storm is the real concern. Wind chills dropping to 30 below zero by Tuesday, Appleton, Wisconsin. Snow Sunday night into Monday. 3 to 4 inches, right in the corridor, Janesville, Wisconsin. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Monday morning on Interstate 90 is going to be slow. Bloomington, Illinois. Remember I mentioned that sneaky system on Thursday? You could see a dusting to an inch from that. Then the main event hits Sunday night into Monday with another 3 to 5 inches. Double whammy, Decatur, Illinois. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 4 inches. You are just south of the heavier snow axis. Terre Haute, Indiana, and Evansville, Indiana. I covered you earlier, but let me add Lafayette, Indiana. Snow Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Purdue campus is going to be a winter wonderland, not the fun kind. Muncie, Indiana. Snow Monday, 4 to 5 inches. Bloomington, Indiana. Snow Monday, 3 to 4 inches. You are a little farther south, so you might see some mixing, which could cut into your snow totals. Kalamazoo, Michigan. Snow Monday into Monday night, 3 to 5 inches. Lake effect potential on the backside could add another inch or two. Ann Arbor, Michigan. Snow Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning, 3 to 5 inches. Same timing as Detroit, but potentially a touch more with the higher terrain. Saginaw and Bay City, Michigan. Snow Monday into Tuesday, 2 to 4 inches. You are on the northern edge. Now, do not miss the next part of this forecast because I promised you something at the 5-minute mark, and here it is. There is a massive pattern change coming, and it is going to flip everything on its head. See, right now we are focused on this winter storm, and rightfully so. It is a big deal. But what happens after this storm is what should really grab your attention because the data is showing a significant pattern flip heading into the first and second week of March. And it has major implications. Here is what is happening. Right now, the jet stream pattern has been locked in a configuration that keeps shoving Arctic air into the eastern United States. That is why we have had so many winter storms this season. That is why temperatures keep crashing. But the models are showing that pattern breaking down. The ridge of high pressure that has been parked over the western United States is going to shift east. And a trough is going to develop over the west. That is a complete reversal of what we have been seeing. And here's what that means for you. Temperatures across the eastern half of the country are going to surge. We are talking about much above average temperatures. The Climate Prediction Center outlook for March 4th through March 10th shows virtually the entire lower 48 states with above average temperature probabilities. Every single state. That almost never happens. But wait. Before you start celebrating the end of winter, here is the catch. When you flip from a cold pattern to a warm pattern this fast, and you add increasing moisture from the Gulf, you get instability. And instability in March means one thing, severe weather. The European ensemble model is already picking up on this. Severe weather probabilities start bumping up around the middle of next week into the following week across Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Now, it is too early to pinpoint specific days or cities for severe weather, but the signal is there, and it is getting stronger with each model run. So here is what I think is going to happen. This winter storm early next week is essentially the last big hurrah of this cold pattern. After it moves through, temperatures surge. By the second week of March, we could be talking about severe thunderstorms instead of snowstorms, tornadoes instead of ice. That is how fast the pattern is going to flip. And I want you to think about what that means. We are going from a pattern that produces 30 below zero in the northern plains to a pattern that could produce severe thunderstorms and tornadoes in the southern plains in the span of about 10 to 14 days. That is a violent transition, and violent transitions in the atmosphere produce violent weather. Now let me circle back and give you some additional city forecasts that I have not covered yet because I know a lot of you are waiting to hear about your specific area. Detroit, Michigan. Snow starts Monday, probably late morning. It builds through the afternoon, 3 to 5 inches. Monday evening is the peak. It tapers off overnight into Tuesday. Cold air behind the storm drops temperatures. Tuesday morning lows could be in the single digits. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Same timing as Detroit, but you could see a little more snow, 4 to 6 inches, plus lake effect enhancement off Lake Michigan could add another inch or two. Tuesday and Wednesday could see additional lake effect squalls. Lansing, Michigan, right in the corridor. Snow Monday into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. Classic Michigan winter storm. Toledo, Ohio. Snow Monday into Monday night, 3 to 5 inches. The storm moves through relatively quickly here. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Snow Monday, 4 to 6 inches. You are in the heavier snow zone based on current model trends. Dayton, Ohio. Snow Monday into Monday night, 3 to 5 inches. Watch for a brief transition to sleet before it changes back to snow. Akron and Canton, Ohio. Snow Monday into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. Lake-enhanced snow possible on the backside. Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Snow Monday night into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. The higher terrain here tends to boost totals. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Snow and a mix Monday night into Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. You are close enough to the warm air that a brief mix is possible. Allentown, Pennsylvania. Snow Monday night into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. Trenton, New Jersey. Snow Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. Same timing as Philadelphia, Wilmington, Delaware. Snow and a mix Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. Close to the rain snow line, Dover, Delaware. Mainly snow, but a mix is possible. 2 to 4 inches. Tuesday is your day. Norfolk, Virginia. Rain. Maybe a brief wintry mix to start on Monday, but mainly rain. 1 to 2 inches of rain. Roanoke, Virginia. This is an interesting one. The mountains could see significant snow. 4 to 8 inches in the higher elevations. Lower elevations, 3 to 5 inches. Monday night into Tuesday, Beckley, West Virginia. Snow, 5 to 8 inches possible in the mountains. Monday into Tuesday. This could be one of the bigger totals in the storm. Morgantown, West Virginia. Snow, Monday night into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. Springfield, Illinois. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 5 inches. You are in the initial impact zone. Peoria, Illinois. Same as Springfield. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Champaign, Illinois. Snow late Sunday into Monday, 4 to 5 inches. Terre Haute, Indiana. Snow Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Evansville, Indiana. You are on the southern edge. Snow to a mix, 2 to 3 inches. South Bend, Indiana. Snow Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Lake effect possible on the backside. Rockford, Illinois. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Madison, Wisconsin. Snow Sunday night into Monday, 3 to 5 inches. Topeka, Kansas. Wintry mix Sunday afternoon into Sunday night, 1 to 3 inches of snow plus some ice. You are on the western and southern edge. Wichita, Kansas. Mainly a wintry mix. Freezing rain and sleet possible. 1 to 2 inches of ice accumulation is possible if the models verify. This is a dangerous setup for Wichita. Sunday into Monday. Oklahoma City. Rain and possibly a wintry mix Sunday. You are too far south for significant snow, but a brief period of freezing rain or sleet is not out of the question if the cold air surges far enough south. Mainly rain. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s by midweek. Dallas and Fort Worth. Rain Sunday and Monday. No winter weather for you. In fact, temperatures could approach 80 degrees by midweek. 80 in early March. While cities just a few hundred miles north are buried in snow and ice. That temperature contrast is exactly what fuels these massive storms. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Rain to a possible wintry mix Sunday, then warming up quickly, mid-60s by Tuesday. Little Rock, Arkansas. Rain Sunday into Monday, heavy at times. Thunder possible, 1 to 2 inches. Memphis, Tennessee. Rain, maybe some thunder. Sunday into Monday. Temperatures rebound quickly into the 60s by midweek. Springfield, Missouri. Snow to a mix Sunday into Monday, 2 to 4 inches. You are right in that corridor where snow and ice battle it out. Columbia, Missouri. Same situation. Snow to a wintry mix. Sunday into Monday, 2 to 4 inches of snow plus a glaze of ice. Jefferson City, Missouri. Wintry mix. Sunday into Monday, 2 to 3 inches of snow and potentially a quarter inch of ice. Now, I said earlier that this storm has two faces, and I want to come back to that because the ice component of this storm might actually be more dangerous than the snow. Here is why. There is going to be a narrow corridor, probably 50 to 100 miles wide, where temperatures at the surface are below freezing, but temperatures a few thousand feet up are above freezing. Rain falls from those warmer clouds, passes through the warm layer, but then hits the frozen surface and freezes on contact. That is freezing rain, and it is the single most dangerous type of winter weather. Right now, the models suggest that corridor of freezing rain could set up from central Kansas through Missouri, across Kentucky, and into the central Appalachians. But here is the problem. That corridor could shift 100 miles north, and suddenly cities like Indianapolis and Columbus are dealing with ice instead of snow. 100 miles south and places like Nashville and Charlotte get iced over. The European ensemble model shows the highest freezing rain probabilities along the Appalachian chain from Virginia up through West Virginia and into Pennsylvania. If that verifies, we could see a significant ice storm in the mountains. Power outages, trees down, roads closed, mountain communities could be cut off. And let me tell you something from experience. It takes a lot longer to recover from an ice storm than a snowstorm. Snow you can plow. Ice you have to wait for it to melt or chip away at it inch by inch. And if power lines go down in remote mountain areas, it can take a week or more to restore service. So if you are in that zone from Kansas through Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, and up into the Appalachian Mountains, please take this storm seriously. Charge your devices, have flashlights and batteries ready, fill your gas tank, stock up on water and non-perishable food. Do it today or tomorrow. Do not wait until Sunday. Now let me take a step back and talk about the big picture because I think it is important to understand why this winter has been so active. This has been a relentless season, storm after storm after storm. The blizzard that hammered New England, the January ice storm, multiple Arctic blasts, and now this. Why? It comes down to the jet stream. This winter, the polar vortex has been disrupted multiple times, sending lobe after lobe of Arctic air plunging into the United States. At the same time, the Pacific has been pumping moisture into the western states. And the Gulf of Mexico has been unusually warm, providing extra fuel for any storm that taps into it. You put those three things together and you get an exceptionally active winter weather pattern. And here is the kicker. Even though we are about to see a pattern change in March, that does not mean the severe weather risk goes away. It just changes form. Instead of blizzards and ice storms, we transition to severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, and flooding. The energy in the atmosphere does not disappear. It just expresses itself differently. So if you are watching this from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, or anywhere in the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley, I need you to start thinking about severe weather preparedness. We are only a few weeks away from the heart of tornado season, and this pattern flip could jumpstart things in a big way. Now, before I let you go, let me summarize the key takeaways because I have thrown a lot of information at you. The main storm. It begins Sunday afternoon in the Central Plains. It crosses the Ohio Valley Monday. It reaches the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast by Tuesday. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain are all in play. The heaviest snow totals, potentially 6 to 12 inches, will be in a band from Iowa through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and into New York and New England. A dangerous ice corridor could set up from Kansas through Missouri, Kentucky, and into the Appalachians. Temperatures behind the storm crash, 20 to 30 degrees below average in the Northeast by early next week. The pattern change. After this storm, temperatures surge above normal across the entire eastern United States. By the second week of March, severe weather season could be firing up across the southern plains. This transition happens fast. Within 10 to 14 days, what you need to do. If you are in the storm path, prepare now. Charge devices, stock up on essentials, have a plan for power outages. If you drive, make sure you have an emergency kit in your car. Blankets, water, flashlight, snacks. Do not get caught off guard. And listen, I am not trying to scare you. That is not what this is about. But I am trying to make sure you are informed and you are ready, because the difference between a storm being an inconvenience and a storm being a disaster often comes down to preparation. A little bit of preparation goes a long way. Do not forget to drop your city in the comments. Tell me where you are watching from, and I will try to get you a specific update. I read every single comment. If you are in a city I did not mention, tell me. I will cover it. And here is something I want you to think about. Tomorrow, I am going to have an updated forecast with the latest model data. The models are going to run overnight tonight, and we are going to get a much clearer picture of exactly where that heavy snow band sets up and where the ice corridor lands. That update tomorrow could shift things significantly, so make sure you are subscribed and you have notifications turned on because tomorrow's forecast could be the most important one yet. But there is more. After this winter storm clears out, I am putting together a full severe weather season outlook. Where will the biggest tornado risk be this spring? Which cities need to be on high alert? When does the peak of tornado season hit this year? I'm going to break all of that down. It is going to be the most detailed, severe weather outlook I have ever done, and it drops next week. You do not want to miss that one. Now, let me give you a few more details on some of the cities I covered because I want to make sure you have the full picture. For those of you in the greater New York City area, Long Island, northern New Jersey, and the lower Hudson Valley, the GFS Ensemble model is showing about an 80% chance of at least 1 inch of snow. 80%. That is high confidence. The question is not whether you get snow, the question is how much, and that depends entirely on the storm track. A shift of 50 miles makes the difference between 3 inches and 8 inches for the city. I know that is frustrating, but that is the nature of winter storms along the Interstate 95 corridor. The details do not come into focus until about 24 to 36 hours before the event, so check back tomorrow. For the Ohio Valley, specifically Indiana, Ohio, and western Pennsylvania, confidence is actually pretty high that you are getting measurable snow. The European and GFS models agree on that. They just disagree on how much. The European is more moderate, showing 2 to 4 inches for most of the region. The GFS is more aggressive, showing 4 to 8 inches. The truth is probably somewhere in between. But either way, you are getting snow. Plan for it. For the ice zone, and I keep coming back to this because it worries me, the area from central Missouri through Kentucky and into the central Appalachians has the highest risk of a significant ice event. If you live in this corridor, the single most important thing you can do is make sure you have a way to stay warm if the power goes out. Space heaters, extra blankets, or if you have a fireplace, make sure you have firewood. Ice storms kill people, not usually from the ice itself, but from the power outages that follow. Hypothermia is a real risk, especially for older adults. Please take this seriously. For the northern plains, your storm is the cold itself. After the Clipper system moves through Saturday, temperatures are going to free fall. Sunday morning lows in the Dakotas could be 15 to 25 below zero. Wind chills could approach 40 below. That is life-threatening cold. Do not go outside unless you absolutely have to. Make sure your pipes are insulated. Let faucets drip. Bring pets inside. Check on elderly neighbors. For the southeast, from Alabama through Georgia, the Carolinas, and into Tennessee, your threat is rain and some strong thunderstorms Thursday into Friday. Nothing winter-related for you. But some of those storms could produce locally heavy rainfall up to 2 inches in a short period, which could cause flash flooding, especially in low-lying areas and urban areas with poor drainage. Keep an eye on the forecast Thursday afternoon. Now, I want to give one more thought on the pattern change because I think this is the most important thing I have told you today. When the atmosphere transitions from a cold pattern to a warm pattern as abruptly as the models are showing, the period of transition itself is often the most dangerous. You get these clashing air masses, you get extreme temperature gradients, you get powerful jet stream dynamics, and all of that translates to big storms. Right now, if you look at the temperature contrast that is setting up, we have the potential for temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s across Texas and Oklahoma. At the same time, temperatures in the northern plains are 30 below zero. That is a temperature difference of over 100 degrees across just a few hundred miles. 100 degrees. That kind of thermal gradient is jet fuel for severe weather. And as that gradient shifts eastward and encounters Gulf moisture, we could see a very active severe weather period. I am not saying this to alarm you. I am saying this because awareness is the first step of preparation, and preparation is the first step of survival. If you live anywhere in the central or southern United States, now is the time to review your severe weather plan. Know where your safe room is. Know where the nearest shelter is. Make sure your weather alerts are working. Do not wait until a tornado warning is issued to figure out what you are going to do. Figure it out now. So let me wrap up with this. We are looking at a significant winter storm Sunday through Tuesday that will impact a huge swath of the country from the Central Plains to the Northeast. Heavy snow, dangerous ice, and bitter cold are all in the mix. Some cities could see 6 to 12 inches of snow. Others could deal with crippling ice, and the cold behind the storm is brutal. After this storm, a major pattern change flips everything toward warmth and moisture, which sets the stage for an active start to severe weather season. Tomorrow, I will have updated forecasts with the latest overnight model data. If you are in the path of this storm, you need to check in tomorrow because the forecast is going to sharpen considerably. Drop your city in the comments. Subscribe if you have not already. Turn on notifications. Tomorrow's update could change everything for your area. And next week, that severe weather season outlook is coming. Trust me, you are going to want to see it. But hold on, I am not done yet, because there are a few more things I need to cover that could make a real difference for you and your family over the next 72 hours. And I want to make sure nobody gets caught off guard. And here is one thing that blows my mind about this particular storm: the temperature contrast. While cities in the northern plains are experiencing 30 below zero, cities in Texas and Oklahoma are going to be flirting with 80 degrees. 80 degrees, that is a 110-degree temperature difference across a distance of maybe 800 miles. Think about that for a second. 110 degrees of contrast. That is like standing in a deep freezer with one foot and a sauna with the other. That kind of temperature gradient does not just sit there quietly, it explodes. And when it explodes, it produces storms. Big ones. Now, let me add a few more cities on the southern edge of this storm that I have not mentioned yet. Paducah, Kentucky. You are right in the battle zone between snow and ice. Wintry mix Monday into Tuesday. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain all possible. 2 to 4 inches of snow equivalent, with some of that falling as ice. Roads are going to be treacherous. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Similar to Paducah, but a little farther south. More ice than snow is likely. Freezing rain Monday into Monday night. 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice accumulation is possible. That is enough to cause widespread power outages. Huntington, West Virginia. Snow Monday night, 4 to 6 inches. The mountains to your east could see even more. 8+ inches in the higher elevations is not out of the question. Parkersburg, West Virginia. Snow Monday night into Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. Ice is also possible with your valley location. Asheville, North Carolina. This is a wild card. The mountains around Asheville could see significant snowfall if the storm tracks far enough south. 3 to 6 inches is possible in the higher elevations. At lower elevations in the city itself, 2 to 4 inches. But if the storm stays farther north, you might only see rain. Big uncertainty here. Watch the updates closely. Greenville and Spartanburg, South Carolina. Mainly rain, but a brief wintry mix is not impossible if the cold air surges far enough south. Low probability, but worth mentioning. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Rain with some thunder possible. Maybe a brief mix on the back end. Mainly a rain event for you. Let me talk about travel, because this storm is going to hit right at the start of the work week, Monday and Tuesday. That means millions of people are going to be trying to get to work, get kids to school, and go about their normal routines right as this storm is at its peak. That is a recipe for disaster on the roads. If you are in the snow zone, from Iowa through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and into the Northeast, Monday morning is going to be ugly. I am talking about highways that look like parking lots, side streets that have not been plowed, black ice on bridges and overpasses. If you can work from home Monday, do it. If you can delay your commute by even 2 or 3 hours, that could make all the difference. Let the plows do their work. Let the salt trucks make the roads passable. There is no meeting, no deadline, no obligation that is worth risking your life on an icy highway. And if you absolutely have to drive, here are a few things I want you to remember. Slow down. That sounds obvious, but people forget. Reduce your speed by at least half during a snowstorm. Give yourself 3 to 4 times the normal following distance. Do not use cruise control on snowy or icy roads. If you start to slide, take your foot off the gas and steer in the direction you want to go. Do not slam on the brakes, and please keep your headlights on. Not just your daytime running lights, your actual headlights. Visibility during a heavy snowstorm can drop to less than 1/4 mile. Other drivers need to see you. Now, let me talk about air travel, because I know some of you have flights booked early next week, and I am going to be straight with you. If you are flying into or out of any major airport in the storm zone Monday or Tuesday, there is a very good chance your flight is going to be delayed or canceled. We are talking about O'Hare in Chicago, Midway in Chicago, Indianapolis International, Cleveland Hopkins, Pittsburgh International, Philadelphia International, Newark Liberty, LaGuardia, JFK, Logan in Boston, Reagan National and Dulles in the D.C. area. All of these airports could be impacted. O'Hare in particular tends to be the domino that starts a chain reaction of delays across the entire national air traffic system. When O'Hare gets hit with a snowstorm, it does not just affect Chicago. It affects connecting flights in Dallas, Atlanta, Denver, Los Angeles, everywhere. So even if you are flying somewhere that is not in the storm zone, you could still feel the effects. My advice, if you have flexibility, try to fly out Saturday or early Sunday before the storm hits, or push your travel to Wednesday or Thursday after it clears. If you are stuck flying Monday or Tuesday, download your airline app, sign up for flight status alerts, and have a backup plan. Know what your options are if your flight gets canceled. Do not be the person standing at the gate counter at midnight with no plan. Let me also talk about something that does not get enough attention during winter storms. Carbon monoxide. Every single winter storm, we hear about families who lose power and then try to heat their homes with generators, charcoal grills, or gas stoves, and every single time, people die from carbon monoxide poisoning. This is an invisible, odorless gas that can kill you in minutes. If you lose power, do not run a generator inside your home. Do not run it in the garage. Do not run it on the porch. Run it outside, at least 20 feet from any window, door, or vent. Same goes for charcoal grills or any other combustion source. Never use them indoors. If you do not have a carbon monoxide detector, go get one today. They cost $10. That is $10 that could save your entire family. And while we are talking about power outages, let me give you a quick checklist. Fill your bathtub with water before the storm hits. That water can be used to flush toilets if you lose water pressure. Charge all your devices. Phones, tablets, portable chargers, everything. Fill prescriptions now. If you rely on medication and you lose power and roads are closed, you do not want to be scrambling to get to a pharmacy. If you have a sump pump in your basement and you lose power, that pump stops working. And when all that snow and ice starts to melt, your basement could flood. Consider a battery backup for your sump pump if you are in an area prone to basement flooding. Let me also address something for my friends in rural areas. Because the cities get all the attention during storms like this, but rural communities often get hit the hardest. You are farther from hospitals. You are farther from emergency services. Your roads get plowed last. Your power gets restored last. If you live in a rural area in the storm zone, you need to be even more prepared. Have enough food, water, and medication to last at least 3 to 5 days without leaving your home. Make sure a neighbor or family member knows to check on you. If you heat with propane or fuel oil, make sure your tank is full before Sunday. Now let me circle back to the severe weather angle because I dropped that earlier and I want to make sure you understand the timeline. This winter storm moves through Sunday through Tuesday. Cold air locks in behind it Tuesday through Thursday. Then starting around Friday of next week, temperatures begin to climb. By the following Monday, March 9th, we could see temperatures in the 60s and 70s across much of the southern and central United States. And by mid-March, the atmosphere is going to be primed for severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center has not issued any specific outlooks yet for severe weather in early to mid-March, but the signals in the long-range models are hard to ignore. The European Ensemble model is showing increasing thunderstorm probabilities across Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama, starting around March 8th or 9th. That is less than 2 weeks from now. And here is the thing about severe weather season. It does not wait for you to be ready. It does not send you a reminder. It just shows up. And when it transitions from winter to severe weather this quickly, people are still in winter mode. They are not thinking about tornadoes. They are not thinking about severe thunderstorms. And that is when people get caught off guard. So let me plant this seed right now. If you live anywhere from Texas to Tennessee, from Louisiana to Indiana, start thinking about severe weather. Where is your safe room? Where is the interior room on the lowest floor of your home, away from windows? Do you have a way to receive tornado warnings even if you are asleep? Most tornado fatalities happen at night when people are sleeping and do not hear the warnings. A weather radio with a tone alert feature could save your life. They cost about $30. Get one. Let me now revisit a few more cities I want to give detailed forecasts for because I see the comments and people are asking. Youngstown, Ohio, snow Monday into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. Heavy at times Monday evening. This is right in the core of the storm. Erie, Pennsylvania, snow Monday night into Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches from the main storm. Lake effect potential after that. Could see an additional 2 to 4 inches off Lake Erie. Total accumulation could reach 6 to 9 inches by Wednesday. Wheeling, West Virginia, snow Monday night, 3 to 5 inches. Ice is a concern here too because of the valley geography. Cold air gets trapped in the Ohio Valley and freezing rain can occur even when hilltops are getting snow. Hagerstown, Maryland, snow Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. You are in a favorable spot for accumulation with the higher terrain. Frederick, Maryland, snow and a mix Tuesday, 2 to 4 inches. Annapolis, Maryland, snow and rain mix Tuesday, 2 to 3 inches. You are close to the bay, which tends to keep temperatures marginal. Atlantic City, New Jersey, snow to a mix Tuesday, 2 to 4 inches. Coastal winds could make it feel a lot worse than the totals suggest. Worcester, Massachusetts, snow Tuesday into Tuesday night, 4 to 7 inches. You are at higher elevation and tend to outperform Boston in snow totals. Springfield, Massachusetts, snow Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. New Haven, Connecticut, snow Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. Bridgeport, Connecticut, snow Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. Some mixing near the coast is possible. Stamford, Connecticut, snow Tuesday, 3 to 5 inches. White Plains, New York, snow Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. You tend to do better than the city because of the slightly higher terrain. Binghamton, New York, snow Monday night into Tuesday, 5 to 7 inches. You are in the sweet spot of this storm. Utica, New York, snow Monday night into Tuesday, 4 to 6 inches. Lake effect enhancement possible after the main storm. Rochester, New York, snow Monday night, 2 to 4 inches from the main storm. Then lake effect off Lake Ontario Tuesday night into Wednesday. Additional accumulation possible. Now look, I have covered more than 70 cities and locations at this point, but I know there are more of you out there wondering about your specific area. That is why I need you to drop your city in the comments. I am serious about this. I will do updated forecasts. I will respond to your comments. I will make sure you have the information you need to stay safe. And here is one more thing I want to leave you with. The models are going to change. They always do. The forecast I just gave you is based on the best data available right now on Wednesday afternoon. Tonight, the models run again. Tomorrow morning, we will have new data. And some of those numbers I just gave you could shift. Snow totals could go up. They could go down. The storm track could shift north or south by 50 to 100 miles, and that changes everything. That is why you need to come back tomorrow, because tomorrow's forecast is going to be significantly more refined. We will be within the 72-hour window for the western edge of this storm, which is when model accuracy really starts to improve. The forecast you get tomorrow for cities like Des Moines, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Chicago is going to be much more reliable than what I can give you today. And by Friday, we will be within the 72-hour window for the Ohio Valley and parts of the Northeast. That is when I can really start nailing down specific snowfall totals for cities like Columbus, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and New York. So here is the plan. Come back tomorrow. Check the updated forecast. Come back Friday for even more detail on the eastern half of the storm. And then over the weekend, I will have one final update before the storm hits with hour-by-hour breakdowns for every major city in the storm zone. This is going to be a significant event. Not the storm of the century, not a catastrophe, but a serious disruptive winter storm that will affect a lot of people. And you have the advantage of knowing about it days in advance. Use that advantage. Prepare now. Do not wait. And remember what I said about the pattern flip. After this storm clears, severe weather season ramps up fast. That outlook is coming next week. You do not want to miss it. It is going to be a big one. Drop your city in the comments, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you tomorrow with the latest data. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I will see you in the next one. One more thing before I go. I know a lot of you have been asking me about the models and which one to trust. Let me break that down real quick because I think it matters. The GFS model, that is the American model, has been the most aggressive with this storm. It is showing higher snow totals, a bigger footprint, more widespread impacts. And here is the thing. The GFS actually nailed the last nor'easter when the European model said it was not going to happen. So the GFS has earned some credibility this winter. The European model, which is generally considered the gold standard of weather modeling, is being more conservative. It is showing a more moderate storm, less snow, more of a nuisance than a cripple. Historically, the European model has a better track record overall. But this winter, it has been beaten by the GFS a couple of times. Then we have the artificial intelligence models, which are a newer tool in the forecasting arsenal. These AI models are trending closer to the European, more moderate, more suppressed, less snow for the big cities. But AI models are still relatively new in the world of meteorology. They do not have decades of verification data behind them like the GFS and European do. so I take them with a grain of salt for now. My gut feeling? I think the truth is somewhere between the GFS and the European. Closer to the European for the overall storm structure, but with a corridor of heavier snow that the GFS is picking up on. That corridor could produce 6 to 8 inches, maybe more, in a relatively narrow band. The question is where that band sets up. And we will not know that for sure until Saturday or Sunday. What I do know is this. Somebody is getting a big snow out of this storm. Somebody is getting a dangerous ice storm. And everybody in the path needs to be paying attention and making plans right now. So for the last time, drop your city in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from. I read every single one, and I am going to do my best to get you a forecast. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Your mom, your dad, your neighbor, anyone who lives in the path of this storm. Information saves lives. And the more people who are prepared, the fewer people who get caught off guard. Tomorrow, new data, updated forecast, more details. Do not miss it. Stay safe out there. I will see you in the next one.